I was able to get satisfactory answers from AI on this photo. Uh, when I asked, instead of asking AI, what is this? I directed it a little better. I have an idea because it came from something I used to use as a fruit basket. I asked, is this orange peel mold? AI returned a positive answer. They said it resembles stock images for orange peel mold. This is mold I just scraped off of a piece of glass in my kitchen. I don't know how bad orange peel mold is for a house. Um, I don't know if it can turn into other things. I'm new. I'm a new mold expert. Not expert yet. I need what, 400 more hours, 1600 more hours or whatever. So I have some other experiments going on right now. I did like a puff test on the carpet in the hallway, in two locations, one in front of the stinky apartment and then one in front of the laundry room. Both locations had lock boxes on the doors that are directly in front of them. Um, I plan to, when I do eventually make it outside, uh, I plan to swab the door and get a mold sample for that. Um, and then I will report back with those findings because there's mold coming from what I think is the front door step, the carpet, and that has spread onto the door. And I think that's what spread into my car. So, okay, we have so many things going on here. There is what I believe to be black mold. It's not even a crawl space. It's just like the floor space between the apartment above me and my apartment. And the reason I believe that is because last time they cut into the drywall, they created an environment that's a mess. Like, but nothing happened within my apartment. Um, the only thing that I noticed that would let me think that it's black mold, aside from the carpets in the hallway of this building, is in my car on the floor mat, which is brand new, like weeks old, couple weeks, few weeks old, right? My first car payment's coming up. And it's like a slimy texture. And then when I sprayed it with vinegar, you could see like visible spores. It could have been spray, but I think the more vinegar that I sprayed onto it, the more the slimy sludge disappeared, and it went back to like looking like a normal floor mat. Um, I did that because I don't want any kind of mold to root in my car and then cause spores as I'm driving always, and then always be on my shoe. So after cleaning the floor mat in my car, now I have to wear a different pair of shoes from my house to my car. Um, because if I wear the shoes that I wear in the hallway of the building, it creates strange growths. So I don't know if it's toxic black mold, regular black mold, orange peel mold. I'm not too sure exactly what it is, but someone in the building is playing with mold spores and they think it's funny. There's no way that I'm moving any of my stuff through the hallway so long as the carpets look like that. So if that means that I live here forever, I live here forever. Uh, Being able to properly identify this as orange mold simply based on the location of it and the fact that when I put like lemons in that basket, I used to, I don't anymore, they tend to rot very quickly. So recently, I had a lemon on my counter for almost like 2 or 3 weeks, I want to say. No flies, which is really strange. No, no mold. And I have a feeling that is due to remediation taking place in the apartment above me, where I have heard a machine that sounds like an air scrubber. Um, and if you don't know what an air scrubber is, it's like a box that has 5 different filters in it, and then it just sucks all the air through the filter and spits it out. So it is literally scrubbing the air of mold particles. So, in addition to hearing that run, I've had an issue with soda lime mason jar glass breaking. Like when I used a spoon on it, and it's happened before, and I didn't really think too much of it, but I have reason to believe that it's due to extreme being exposed to extreme electricity, possibly directed energy weapons. Sounds crazy. I never wanted to get into this like topic. I've heard other targeted individuals talk about it. I'm like, I don't believe that shit. Right? There's certain level, like there's so many things about this that are fake. It's a bunch of actors. It's a bunch of actors. The reason I'm almost positive this is not black mold is because they have done everything possible to make me overreact, to the point where I had to get a microscope so I could look at it up close for myself and then be the judge and see what patterns I can find that match and what replicates what. So the spores that are in the air of my apartment, like when I go to clean my microscope, the spores in the air of my apartment, when my microscope is hit with, it's alcohol even, so it's supposed to like kill them, but just from getting wet, the microscope lenses have what look like the Stachybotrys mold spores. And from what I understand, Stachybotrys is like a slime-like mold, so it's not necessarily blowing off mold spores. It's like spreading slowly like a slime. So I don't know how they've gotten into the air unless I've touched something in here and then touched the lens, and when I clean it, it makes it reappear. But I've witnessed mold spores like grow on the lens of my microscope. Microscopes are awesome, by the way. This will not be my only one. I'm going to get more of them. I would like I think it's called a stereo microscope, so that I can look at like my skin, kind of like a dermatologist would. Microscopes are so much fun, especially when your eyes are going bad and you don't want to wear glasses. You can change the focus of them really easy. So, this is a shirt that I used to wear when I actually went to Maranello Colleges of Beauty. The school's closed down since then because of fraud. Just like everything around me. I don't know if Joanne Fabric Store was guilty of fraud. Uh, but that store very quickly took a turn for the worst. Used to be very popular hobby store. They changed their coupon policy and then everybody stopped going. I don't even care to go to Michael's. I liked Joanne. If I can't get fabric, I can go to Mood. It's more expensive fabric. I'm broke. Joanne was economical, especially sale prices. So trying to force behavior change by closing stores, I don't really understand what's happening. Right now, I just heard a voice in my apartment building saying that there's a person here who likes to play with me. And they think it's funny. They need to get a life. That person is very predatory and presents to me as someone who likes people of the opposite sex but is in the closet about it. That's it becomes like sadistic ritual abuse. It's people like, I don't know if you've ever met men who are gay, who are in the closet and refuse to let anyone know, and they're just like mean to women because they don't like them. But because society expects them to be with women, they think that that's how their interaction goes with them. So, that's the energy that I get from this particular person, who I don't want to have anything to do with. You're not going to get me excited, hyper, angry when I have a microscope, and really that's all to get down to the bottom of things, to find out what's real or what's fake or what's happening and what's not, I put it on a slide. I put it under the microscope. Um, so now I have given a itemized list of repairs needed for my apartment. It's too many to send through the maintenance portal. I sent, it's like a 3-page letter of, I want to say, 12, 13 different items in my building and apartment that need to be corrected. Before anybody else can come into my apartment to make any of the suggested repairs, they need to clean the hallway. Because walking on the carpet in the hallway is what introduces the dirt, the pathogens, anything. I don't want that in my apartment. Um, while I would like my apartment repaired in the condition that it's in, I do not feel like my apartment is necessarily making me sick. If anything, my skin is cleaner and clearer than it's ever been before. Um, right? I'm looking, look at me. And I look back to videos that I recorded 2, 3, 10 weeks ago. And I had a lot of spots. It looked like bacteria, all kinds of stuff on my face. So even within the last week, 2 weeks since the one particular stinky apartment has left, I can show you photos. I can show you photos of all the people that have moved out or left the apartment. So let's start. We're going to start. This is the floor in front of their apartment. This is a spot that I did a puff test on. Hold on. Let me do this so I can show you clearly a clean. I tested like the darkest area on the top left right there where it looks really dark, really nasty. That's where I tested. The rest of the carpet looks like wrinkly, Shar-Pei, whatever. Every other day when you go through the stairs, it will go from clean to dirty in a couple of days, right? So I don't know if that steam cleaner is actually working or if she's using vinegar because she knows it's mold. But to witness the carpet go from, you come home one day, you're like, oh, it's clean in here. Immediately the next day, it looks moldy again. This carpet is the reason why I refused the proposed repairs to my apartment. They called it remediation. Remediation is a rebuilding of the structure, right? So if I have rotted wood floors in my apartment and the guy is telling me all that they can do is put a nail in it, there's already nails there and the board's coming up. So a nail is not going to fix that issue. I don't understand why he would even suggest that. The level change between the tile and the wood indicate to me that there's a floorboard support that has completely rotted away. So eventually, one of these days, as I walk to my kitchen, my foot will go straight through the floor. I'm waiting for, because I don't think a nail's going to fix it. Repairing the drywall in my bathroom without replacing the toilet does nothing. You must replace that toilet. I'm going to look and see how long until I can demand that the toilet be replaced. I did already demand that it be replaced, but I believe that after a certain amount of years of tenancy, there are certain things that they have to repair and replace. My toilet, I think, is one of them. If I've lived here 10 years and that toilet has been in this apartment prior to me 11 years, I've been here 11 years, it's 12 years, 13, 15-year, 20-year-old toilet, he said is new. I don't know if I'll share the video. I think I may save it. But I have a video of their general contractor, supposedly, Gabriel, telling me that the toilet is new. I don't know if he understands I've lived here 11 years. That toilet is not new. The toilet came with this apartment with a lime crusty ring on it. The caulking has pulled away from the toilet and the floor. It's not really doing anything. I know that the toilet above me, they had their wax ring replaced. The same needs to happen within my apartment. Uh, the sink in my bathroom creates a space that's very hard to clean between the bathtub and the cabinet. I would like that replaced with a pedestal sink so I can properly and adequately clean the apartment. I don't need the storage space. I created my own storage spaces. Um, I've lived here long enough for them to have to do necessary updates and upgrades. I'm not moving. I'm not moving because I cannot move my belongings through the hallway of this building while the carpet has mold on it. I am not taking that mold to any apartment should I decide to move. I'm not even moving my stuff to store. You cannot start working here until the interior hallways of the building are clear. How are you repairing people's apartments yet leaving mold in the hallway? How are people undergoing remediation, right? I don't think it's remediation. They're undergoing abatement and they don't know to ask for more. They don't know how to refuse service. Just because someone offers you something, it's not a take what you can get. This is your health. Take what you can get. So they fix inside your apartment, yet you're still forced to breathe in mold and bacteria and fungus every time you enter and exit the building. It does nothing for you. This company, real estate management company, has been cited on multiple occasions for this exact type of thing. They've wasted my time not only on Friday this week. Today was a waste of my time. I took off work from 8 a.m. They did not show up into my apartment until 10:50, right? Because I have to pull a video. So I'm pulling video from 10:50 to about 11:10. And then I'll post it to YouTube as private for now. I'm allowed to do so because I have security camera notifications on my door that the state of California will allow me to use audio because I've posted it. There's 24/7 cameras rolling in my apartment. That's the reason why I have to stop work, because I can't have the cameras running while I'm working. Well, I can't have them I have a screen that stays open so I can work. And then he comes in here and he's like leaning on stuff. I've in the past I've asked him to cover his feet with trash bags, and he looked very upset that I asked him to do that. See, he asked if he could just take his shoes off and come in. That's fine. Whatever. I'll deal with whatever is on your socks. And even still, looking now, there's because I sprayed the floor to clean it after they came in, and there's what looks to be a little bit of issues in areas where it looks like the heels of his feet were. So I don't know. I'm going to test those. Hopefully the spray that I used killed anything. But I'm going to be testing everything. I have to test everything. I know that I'm going to find a lot. I haven't done a vacuum because I'm waiting for the county to come and do their inspection because I knew that Drake would not comply. They waited until the last day. Today was the day of compliance. On the notice that I have, it says, on this day is your deadline to comply. So that means by this day, they had 30 days. They came in and did an inspection, same bullshit. They walked in with a moisture meter, didn't do anything. They said, oh, it's okay. It's not wet. So from, what is it? The 6th of the month? I think it was the 6th. They came in here on the 6th. And they waited until the 17th to not do anything. Not a motherfucking thing. Today they came, wasted another 4 hours, 5 hours of my workday, 6 hours of my workday. To tell me they're not going to do anything. All that this is designed to affect my pockets, affect my paycheck, affect my vacation time. I need a break. I need a vacation. I haven't taken time off, so I'm not upset about it. I'm going to use sick time for this because this makes me sick. So you're not taking away from vacation time. In the event that I were to lose my job, I'll still get that paycheck. I have about a week of sick time, maybe something like that, and it accumulates pretty quickly. Um, so if your intention is to hit my pockets, you just gave me a day off. Thanks. Do you not know what it's like to have a good job? I have an excellent job. So I'll show you more green screen pictures while we're at it. This is the interior of my last car. Notice it's not too slimy on the floor. It's just dusty, as expected, right? This car was 3 years old. I went from that could possibly be mold. If you look on the left side of the screen, the little white area right there, that might be mold, but it didn't grow, maybe because humidity is controlled. We're gonna look at more pictures. This is April 22nd, one of the days that my bathroom flooded. They were flooding my bathroom nonstop. This is 2 days after my birthday. They want to ruin any moments of joy or happiness that I have. I still find them because I'm not them. So despite having to constantly deal with this, I'm still a very happy person. I'll save some of the text messages. This is after they did that, they had a plumber come to fix my bathroom. This is my bathroom. That drain, it should not be like that. That's an overflow drain, I understand. And where that leads to, it leads back into the building, right? Like it leads back into whatever drainage system. But usually those covers are pushed down over that hole to cover up the hole. This is not a big deal, but I'm just saying, like, I'm not going to blame the plumber. I think that the plumber was told to leave it like that in order to make me hypochondriac, hypoventilate, like complaining. I understand how plumbing works. That drain is designed to catch water in the event you leave your bathtub flowing so that it doesn't escape the bathtub. So whether that cover is up or down, it doesn't really matter. It was left up intentionally to make me freak out. This is 4 days. They had to enter my apartment again. 4 days. 6 days after my birthday. And this is after they flooded it. So that ring in my tub that you see right there is the result of my bathtub being flooded from above. Because I clean my bathtub every single time I shower with a magic sponge. Every single time I shower, I clean the floor with the magic sponge. So every single time I shower, they were flooding it so that I would have to clean that shit. It went on for like a week. Here's another one. Different time because look at, there's some bullshit in the tub, like coming out of the drain. I don't know what that was. It looked really nasty. I didn't touch it. I allowed the plumbers to deal with that. I did not touch it. This is not how my bathtub looks. My cat will go to sleep in my bathtub because it's so clean. It's one of the cleanest areas in my apartment. This is the nasty thing. I don't know what the fuck that is. It looks like a piece of animal skin with hair on it. Right? So all of that's really nasty. That's somebody shaving. A man shaving, hair shavings in there. Maybe man's, I believe, though. More. That's an out of focus photo. This is date and time, 4/26. Right? Every time I would walk into the bathroom, it would be some of this shit. What's next? This is another example, 4/27. The next day, Immediately after, they hadn't even come to fix this one, right? I left it. I left it empty. I called them the next day, 6:32 in the morning, flooded again, this time with clean water, cleaner water. I don't know if they were trying to rinse out the tub for me. But if you notice, in addition to the standard hair trap, I have my own hair trap. There's two hair traps, so I'm not the reason for this clog. I don't put my hair down the drain. I clean my hair up. I actually collect my hair so that it doesn't go down the drain. I prefer not to have it even hit the hair traps. I'm very anal about that. That's something I'm very, very anal about. Let's do more. Um, Here is the crawl space where the black mold is, where the rotting wood is. I have a GoPro 360 video in this crawl space. Should they decide to try to tell me there's no black mold up there? Should they decide to try to tell me that these floorboards and stuff and such or whatever is not rotting, why are these pipes so rusted if there is not an ongoing leak? I understand it's a 100-year-old building. I'm not complaining about it. But at some point, you have to fix that shit. Right? And I believe after having a bathroom flood 4 times, at least, it would be a good time to fix that shit. Unless people are doing it intentionally, you know? Again, 4:27. I don't know if this is 11 a.m. or 11 p.m. I believe it's 11 a.m., I want to say. I have not cleaned my bathtub because of this shit kept happening. So I just didn't clean the bathtub. Right? Let it rise, let it sink. So this was me showing the clear water had now sunk and it's just like dirty shit on the bottom of the tub. Still, no one has come to fix it. It's Monday. Where is the plumber? The plumber told me nobody wants to come because they've already provided an estimate to Drake Real Estate Management regarding how much it will cost to fix the plumbing, yet they've done nothing. This is a photo after I've cleaned the bathtub. It is now, oh, so that was 11 a.m. because all my shit's on military time. So it's 3:11 now, 3:11 p.m. I believe this is after I steamed it. That one corner on the left leads me to believe maybe not, because normally when I steam until any fucking visible signs of dirt, dust, mold, mildew, whatever are gone. Steam 200 plus degrees with a scrubber brush, with a power nozzle, whatever. My shit is clean. Right? Clean enough that when I moved in, instead of having clear caulk, they just painted over mold. I don't know if they used like that Kills paint or whatever it was, but they just painted over mold because they found it harder to clean the mold than they did to paint over it. But with the steam cleaner, I can actually clean it. I got rid of it. This is more shower curtain. Right, the bottom of the I wash my shower curtains. They're polyester shower curtains that I wash. I will bleach them. Now I know how powerful vinegar is, so the next time I wash them, I started spraying vinegar, so there's no, like, this is even dirty for my shower curtain. So, and then that's the hair trap, fully in effect. It's working. This is like my shower after I take a shower, and it's collected hair and it's slightly wet, right? This is what the hallway used to look like, or this is one of the hallways. There's no black. Notice there's not black spots on the floor, but notice also the lockbox on this apartment. I don't know the purpose of the lockbox. I've inquired with the rental management company to see which units around me have undergone remediation or abatement, because that is pretty important if I have to walk through the hallways after they're moving mold in and out of it, right? They never lined the carpet of the building. So if they underwent remediation or abatement, none of the other tenants were made aware. At least I wasn't. And uh, those procedures would have put other people at risk if they're unknowing. This this is the mold pad. I call it the mold pad because I don't know what happened on these stairs that caused them to put the extra additional carpet there. If you know anything about engineering, even the slightest change in the distance of the steps is enough to cause someone to fall down. So adding an additional layer of carpet not only makes it so that should that carpet ever get wet, it becomes a mold hazard, it also makes it so that it becomes a tripping hazard because those are no longer standard height stairs. I know there is at least one stair on this stairwell that needs to be repaired or replaced because the distance between the stair is greater than the other steps, which leads me to believe that one of those boards has fallen down from its support. There's no elevator in the building, and I don't know if they're grandfathered in, if they have a special relationship with whoever. But if there was an elevator in the building, I wouldn't have to use these stairs. I wouldn't have the need to push a mold spore shopping cart. So what I'll say is, with this, right, I don't touch that doorknob. So whatever happens, happens, you know? Nobody's aware of there being mold, but I understand how mold and water and shit works. So if I smell it being stinky, I try my best to open the door any other way possible. I'm not touching anything in this building. Let's see, we have more. Um, Here's an example of one day when police came, medical examiner came. Medical examiner leads me to believe somebody died, passed away, right? I don't know if they're here acting, but for like an hour, I was forced to sit out front of the building because what I suspect is people looking for a voice file, right? Whether it be police officers, gangster, cops, whatever it is. They want me to say thank you and con permiso and excuse me because they are trying to force me to ask for permission to exist. I don't need your permission to exist. God put me here. That's what I mean when I say I'm being human trafficked. I waited outside for this medical examiner to leave because I didn't want to talk to this cop. I didn't want to have to say thank you to him for anything. I didn't want to ask him to move the shit. So I waited. And I believe that their intention was to force me to go around and use the back of the building because they know that my shopping cart has mold on the wheels. So their way of getting the rest of the building infected is to create a little small space and then force people to traffic it through the building. Right? If they want to blame me, that would be a great way to do it, right? Because then what that would do, it would create two very distinct tire marks on the way to my apartment from the back stairs. Two very distinct trips. So they have had a plan. I don't know. I suspect. So when the medical examiner came out, no body was ever brought out, at least not through the front. And I have a video posted on my YouTube of a police officer lying, but I understand, I guess, police officers are allowed to lie because it's implied immunity or whatever they call it. So when I asked, she said, oh, they brought a body out. And I said, no, actually, I've been recording live this whole entire time. And she packed up an empty dolly into the medical examiner truck and took off. I even talked to her. Here, we have all this water in the front, right? I took another photo of this. You see the water hose? That's what they were doing. They were watering down the front. And I don't know if this is when the carpet was installed, around the time it was installed. I think the carpet's already even there at this time. Um, but here's where they try to make it look like they're cleaning the building. The only thing that I've ever seen done in this building is the carpet being watered. Uh, because there's a lamp. There's a ceiling lamp that for the entire time I've been here has never been cleaned. They had a ladder tall enough to reach the lamp the other day, but the lamp didn't get cleaned. I know that they have access to it. There's a ladder outside by my window. Somebody put a ladder by my window. And that ladder's probably tall enough for them to clean that skylight, right? Like if you really want a clean building, that is where I suggest you start. Top down. Top down. How do you clean? You clean the floor and just the floor? What about all the shit on the walls? What about all the shit on the fans, on the ceiling? This is the ceiling of the building. I don't know if that's water damage or what that is. It is what it is. They've replaced the light fixtures though, but failed to do any other maintenance in any other areas. Uh, this this was when the stairs were relatively clean. If I go and show you a picture of what they look like right now, they look like black slime mold stairs. On my way out, I'll take a photo. I'll make sure I'm wearing my moldy shoes. I also want to point out there's an area, right? Like you can see where someone's able to reach. It's been cleaned, kind of, right? So like for as far as they're able to reach, it's been clean, but there's no effort. They've painted in the past. They've just painted over that right there. And this used to be a really nice building. The people who bought it paid, if you watch their YouTube video, because they discussed the purchase of the building, 7.7 million, I believe, 7.8 million, $8 million for this fucking building. This is what I see when I check to see if I could throw my trash out. What day? Does it tell you what day this is? It doesn't. It does on my thing. I can't see it exactly, but for several months, right? It's not, I don't know if it's one particular tenant, the type of tenants that they're allowing in, because the building was made into a Section 8 building quite a while ago, but it's only been within the last year or so that this trash situation has gotten out of hand like this. I don't know who creates this much trash. If you're Section 8, how do you have the ability to create this much trash? The people who live here who pay full rent do not. Before it became a Section 8 building, I had no issues taking the trash out. The bin was never full. I never had to battle with people in the hallway trying to push me here, there, direct me which way. I never had issues with it. But for at least the last year more, probably since 2023, 24, there has always been someone in the hallway trying to manipulate me into not taking my trash out or otherwise not maintaining my apartment in the manner that I should. There are times when I go to take, like this, you would think that the trash bin is full. It's not. I took this photo and then I went downstairs and I threw my trash in the bin. It's either a lazy tenant or someone is pulling trash out. Another theory that I have is because I'm a targeted individual, they're leaving their trash outside the bin because they're trying to pick through and find my trash. And that's what happens. Like they want access to my trash so they don't put anybody else's trash in the bin until the last minute. Because who leaves trash out when the bin is fully open? Especially if the lock's broken. This makes it damn near impossible for the trash man to come and get the shit because he has to touch all your biohazard trash before he can get to the trash can. This is at the hands of whoever is managing the building under Drake Real Estate Management. This didn't happen under Concord. Whether it be the tenants or the management, somebody's not relaying the message that you put your fucking trash in the bin and you lock it. Right now, the lock is broken. You can't even lock it if you wanted to. Yet, I pay $30 to barely take out 3 trash bags a month. I have to pay $10 a trash bag? That's crazy. Right? And I'm a minimalist, so I try my best not to make trash. Minimalist with way too much shit. But regardless, this is how my bathroom was left because I had to ask that they put that bag over it where they were just going to leave it open. Eventually, the tape failed because it's not necessarily the correct kind of tape. With a little bit of humidity, the tape peeled off, and then that bag was just flowing, and air circulation in the building. Anytime anybody would open their door, it forces air through the walls and interior of the building, and it sucks whatever mold spores are up within there into my bathroom. The reason mold has not taken root or started growing in my bathroom is because my dehumidifier works too good. This is my main reason for calling and asking to have them do the remediation. Because this, as it exists, it looks wet right there. Like if you were to tap it with the end of a broomstick or something, you probably would be able to punch straight through it. But on the days that they come to do their inspection, it's dry enough that there's nothing for them to do about it. And if you look and pay close enough attention, it is not only damaged in the corner, it's like the 2 inches that are surrounding that area, which is why I say there's an issue with the sole plate. Also, the amount of flies. I don't know where the flies come from, but flies lay their eggs in water and they go for food that's left out. I don't leave food out. Right? I rinse my dish. If I'm not going to wash the dish, I at least rinse it so there's no food in it. That's why when I had the lemon, I was so surprised. I said, there's no flies. Right? Because sometimes I'll get fruit flies just from having fruit alone. I didn't put the lemon in the basket that has the citrus mold, orange mold in it. So my lemon survived for a good long time. It's like a science experiment in here. Every day that I go do anything, just know that it's a test to see the environment. So this is the space between my hallway. The bathroom's on the right side of this. The kitchen is behind it. And this is constantly getting wet. Consistently and constantly getting wet. And they're telling me they just want to replace the drywall. They're going to have me move all my shit so they can open it up. Well, I don't think that's a good enough fix for that. I think that it is so deteriorated and so destroyed. In order for it to properly be fixed, you have to give me enough notice and enough time to pack all my shit up, move it into a storage so that you can have at it in this apartment. The whole entire bathroom needs to be rebuilt. The whole entire bathroom, because it's not just the floor from upstairs, it's my floor. I don't know if the building structure is shifting or what is happening, but whatever leak that is causing everything in that area to be fucked up. So even if I were to move out, that's another reason why I don't move out, is because they're going to make this into another tenant's issue. Right? You can paint the fucking turd up, right? They're going to put paint over it, make it look nice, rent it to someone else, and within 2 or 3 years, they're going to be like, man, there's problems in here. Right? And they get away with it because that person, after 2 or 3 years, is going to be like, I'll just move. I've been here so long, it's not convenient for me to just fucking move. More is another one. This. So this is what happened after the trash bags. but it flooded again, right? So this is April 24th. On the 26th or something, there was water coming out of the light, water coming out of the wall. So it's like 2 or 3 floods from above. Because they didn't get the mold to move in April. They tried to force me to move out in April due to this. No, come fix this shit. Even if I have to throw all my shit out so you can fix it, I'm not moving. Another one that shows the actual drip from the light. This is where water is dripping in from the light fixture. I don't put the bulb cover on there because if I put the bulb cover on there, it's going to fill up with water and cause more electrical issues. So I have to let that drip into the sink or a bucket. I've had a bucket in my bathroom. We're in August now. I've had a bucket in my sink since April. May, June, July, August. I have not used my bathroom sink in 4 months. Uninhabitable, Drake. Also, if you notice, this ceiling has been repaired before. From the last time they flooded me from above, that hard looking area of drywall where now you can see like the little haboobs that are coming out of the seam between the wall and the ceiling, that's already been repaired. That was its own haboob and it's on its own, right? It has latex paint, so it filled up with water until the point where that dripped into my bathtub. Overflow. What? That's like the third. I think that was the third flood. I think my bathroom's been flooded like 5 times now. Here's more. This is when I was watching it and I was calling like, hey, you need to get somebody out here right away. My wall is filling up with water. So what this did, because they made this part solid from the last haboob, instead of being able to drain into the bathtub, it forced the water to the wall. And that creates an issue on the sill where I believe the vapor barrier is now fucking rotted. Right? So this had to be cut open so that it could relieve the water pressure. Otherwise, if I had left the water in there, it would be a more moldy situation. If you notice, my shower curtain that I also use as a window covering is wet because it's actively leaking water. This is April 25th. Hell of an April. None of it did I care about. It did not ruin anything. That's what I'm trying to tell you guys. Like the shit, if you guys are doing this intentionally, none of this is ruining my day. All you're doing is making this real estate management company look like they're fucking shit. If that's your intention, to make a real estate management company look like a slumlord, this is proof. Do you not know that in this day and age that people have cameras and can record this and portray whatever narrative it is that needs to be portrayed so that they can get their apartment fixed properly? Look at the condition of the wall. Not only did it drip down this wall, it dripped down the wall that contains all the plumbing fixtures. So I have a feeling like the wall by the window, it's a brick wall on the other side. So once the drywall's gone, it's just brick, right? Wood structure and brick. All has to get redone because I'm sure there's mold in there somewhere. The wall between my kitchen and my bathroom, positive, damn near positive, is mold in there somewhere. This one. This is another day, April 25th, when they flooded it with, I don't know fucking what that shit is. It looks like vomit. Somebody vomited. Somebody did too many drugs, drank too much, whatever they did, and they vomited, and I have to deal with their fucking little kitty ass. Upstairs neighbor is the worst. This. More shit. Did I show you this one already? 427. I think I showed you the 26th. So I tell you, 424, 425, 426, 427. This was the weekend I had to go 3 or 4 days without being able to use my shower. This created a tremendous amount of bacteria on my body. I was on my period during this weekend as well. So I could not wash my period coochie. This is the weekend I sent a very, what Bo Drake considers a wildly inappropriate message. And you know who, I can't remember exactly who it was that reiterated that sentiment, wildly inappropriate, but somebody in the government had, there was a press conference in which they used the same phrase, keyword phrase, wildly inappropriate. If wildly appropriate is what gets your attention, come fix this shit. Right? 4 days. I went, I think it was Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday that I could not take a shower. They had to prorate my rent, so I have documented proof. This is in my living room. I don't know what that is. I'm going to test it. This is in my living room by my front window, or whatever we call that, by the window. Behind my curtains. This is where the mold in my extra closet area, I believe, is coming from. So the clothes that are within that closet have been damaged by whatever mold spores are right here. I'm waiting for the county to come so I can show them. This is me requesting to have the countertops replaced because it's particle board. The particle board, the sink, I would like the sink replaced too. I'm not going to be complaining. I have a sink in mind. If you're going to make me buy the sink myself, I will. And I want you guys to put it in properly because I don't want that center divider in the sink. I want a big bucket ass sink so I can wash dishes really easily. Instead of this little miniature double-sided sink where people soak dishes. That's bullshit. That's American style dishwashing. I want to be able to have space to wash my dishes without this like inconvenience of the center divider. So if I have to pay for the sink, I will gladly buy a sink so that you guys can put it in, properly seal it. I can properly seal it. I know how, but it's not my responsibility and I don't want to take liability. When I mentioned this to my on-site manager, he said his sink looks like this too. I said, "Oh, really? You don't have caulking around your sink?" This is the caulking. You can see it's not even attached on the bottom. Clean on the top. Clean attached to the stainless steel, not attached to the countertop. This is where all that water is getting in to under my sink. This is intended to give me cockroaches. When I wash dishes, I have to, every fucking dish I wash, make sure I don't get water there or I clean it up immediately. This was posted recently. Almost as if to be mocking me. I don't know if the people that came from the stinky apartment got relocation assistance. I don't know. Maybe they lived here and they waited till it was just 3 years. I think that's what it is. And then they became either eligible or a qualified tenant and they were provided assistance to relocate. While their unit, and I believe that it's, if it's the same tenant as before, this would be her second time having this done. This is an area that's easy to clean that doesn't get cleaned. That is the mold spot that I took the spores from. I'm hoping that my petri dish grows. I hope I got the right petri dishes, first of all. I may not have, because there's quite a few different types, and I don't know if I want the I think I need the It's not the simple one. It's the compound one, complex one. I don't know what it's called. I don't know. I'll figure it out. Either it's going to grow mold or it's not. So this is the area of the carpet that I tested. And this is an example of me pushing my shopping cart through the hallway, because how else am I supposed to get out the building? The back door is a double door and it requires me to touch too much of the building for my comfort. So I go out the front door, despite there being mold on the ground. Right? I had no clue it was mold until I saw it appear in my car. I thought it was just dirty. Um, I'll show you. This is what I believe to be somebody playing this stupid game. Do you see the dumb smirk on his face? This man, while he has a car, right? Because he got in his car after me sitting there for 15 minutes and then eventually videotaping him. He sat there as if he was getting ready to take the bus with me. But I didn't get on any of the buses. I let 2 or 3 buses pass, I want to say. And then eventually he makes his smirky ass face and goes and gets back in his car. I believe he's part of this network that has knowledge of what they are trying to set me up for or do to me. This man has every ability to report back to the network which bus I got on, which direction I'm traveling, so that they can prepare what it was. It was the stink spray, right? Like they have a territory that they're allowed, and they have to report within that territory so as not to appear as a stalker. It's also possible he may be a confidential informant. I don't know. I just know that he had suspicious activity near me enough to make me stop, record, and take his picture. And if you look at the date, this is all around the time that I'm being harassed at my apartment. They're trying to make it look as if I am the cause of the hostility in the building. And he's like laughing. They're waiting for a voice file or a reaction. This, July 16th. So, if you understand anything about mold and anything about water, right? I don't know how many of these buses I've actually ridden on, right? But if that is to be black mold in my apartment building, which I'm unsure still, I haven't gotten like a good enough sample so I can compare the photos and be like, I know this is black mold, like how I did with the citrus mold. If I've ridden on any of these buses, if my shopping cart has been on any of these buses and that water has entered the floor and hit any of these buses, do you know now all of Los Angeles has black mold in their apartment? Anybody who rides that bus. That's how it spreads. So when I say this leans towards conspiracy, this is what I mean. If I want to get into things, right, because I am black and Japanese, and this constant harassment, this constant torture lends towards sadistic ritual abuse, lends towards racism, harassment, that type of stuff. This is civil rights violation by damn near everybody in Los Angeles. I'm not going to point the finger at any one specific person, but one of the reasons I did not ride in the most recent ciclovia is because Los Angeles Metro has posted something on their website saying that they're not responsible for psychological damage caused by participating in a ciclovia event. So I don't go to them anymore for a few reasons. I don't like stopping for their walk zone. I'll ride my bike somewhere else. What else I want to add to this leaning towards conspiracy? My sister's current boyfriend, his mother is a former Metro bus driver. I don't know what her ties are to what, but put the shit together, connect the strings, connect the dots. There are people and powers at play that do things so that their life can benefit. I want them all to go down. This is a shoe that deteriorated due to what I believe to be that's mold in my apartment. I think that's mold. This is before I got the microscope, so I couldn't test it. If I could test it now, I'm pretty sure that would return mold spores on the slide. This is what I put in to AI. This is like one of the first times I started using AI. Based on the mold, I had put suspected mold is around baseboards and moving from bathroom to kitchen and along, and I think I put like the wall area or whatever. Based on the mold moving across multiple rooms and tracking along your baseboards, you likely have an active hidden water leak behind your walls, which is what I suspect. Whether it be the toilet, whether it be from above, whether it be both. This indicates a large-scale issue that spans well over 10 square feet, do-it-yourself safety limit, and requires immediate attention to protect your health and your home structure. When they come in and tell me they're not going to do anything for the structure, they're just going to patch shit up, that's the reason I rejected whatever it is that they proposed to do after the deadline that the county gave them. They think I'm an idiot. Immediate action: stop the moisture. Check for obvious leaks like a running toilet, dripping sink, or refrigerator water line. There's no refrigerator water line, so it can't be that. None of my sinks are dripping. A running toilet, I don't know. My toilet is old, and that's the reason I've asked and requested, demanded for it to be replaced. Do not disturb it. Avoid scrubbing, scraping, or tearing away the baseboards yourself. I can't do anything about it. If it's mold there, I have to leave it. One, because the county told me not to touch it. Two, because I'm not trying to spread all those spores. So I have a ladder in front of it to keep me from touching it or anything that I do from touching it. While I know that the ladder may very well also become contaminated, it's the best that I can do. Scrubbing it, as this will release millions of microscopic spores into your living room and kitchen air, and then cause it to affect other people in the building as I have to go in and out of my apartment. So isolate the area. Turn off your HVAC system. I didn't have an air conditioner before, but due to the humidity, like I had to get an air conditioner to control. Well, I have a dehumidifier that has been controlling humidity for 3 years or more. But I had to get an air conditioner because it got to the point where it's so unbearable to sit in here that I have to have an air conditioner run. So my air conditioner has had additional HEPA filters installed in it so as not to be, and it's not anywhere near the mold site, so that it's not pushing air directly on what I suspect to be mold spores. And then management representative from Drake said, I know why it's like this. You don't have any air circulation. I cannot have air circulate in that area because of suspected mold. When I go into the space underneath my loft bed, the floor is perfectly clean. There's no damage. The area is clean, but the walls behind it are not. Do not disturb it. Isolate the area. Turn off your HVAC system and close the vents in those rooms. There's no vents. There's no HVAC. To prevent from the air systems from spreading spores throughout the entire house. Well, because of the fact that I need to have air circulation in order to prevent it from taking over the rest of my personal belongings, I have my ceiling fan that runs on low, which may add to problems. When I look at my security camera video, you can see it is causing spores to go around. So I have to run HEPA filters, right? If I have a fan, it has a HEPA filter on it. HEPA filter material, HEPA filter. HEPA filter is my best friend right now. Why it's spreading. Mold requires constant moisture to travel. Because it is moving from the bathroom through the kitchen and into the living room, water is likely traveling along the sole plate. I believe it's the sole plate above me and then going down in the walls to my sole plate. So not only is the structural integrity of the apartment above me fucked, so is mine. Because this spans multiple rooms, you will need professional intervention to find the hidden water source and safely contain the spores. They sent a general contractor to put a nail in the wood board that's loose. What a fucking solution. That is the reason I rejected their proposal. This is my house. 89.2 degrees. I can handle 89 degrees. That's about it. Anything over 89, it's a wrap. This is, I think, probably just days before or right after I got the air conditioner. It says, I think, 43% humidity, right? I can't read that up close, whatever. I can't see that well. Um, but it's my humidity is within the 40s. My dehumidifier is on 35. So I have several humidity monitors in my kitchen, in my bathroom, in my living room, by my work area that are constantly monitoring humidity. So I'm supposed to get text messages should humidity in my apartment rise over 50% at any given time. Another example, July 19th, somebody found mold in their apartment. I don't know which tenant this is, but it looks very much like how my apartment does. There's an air conditioner box, so they just got an air conditioner dehumidifier set up so they could keep their shit reasonable. But they've had to get rid of just about everything. Enough to fill up an entire dumpster. How do you have that much stuff? That looks like, when I look at it, it looks like two different people's shoes. So that's a whole lot of stuff for a little tiny ass apartment to lose, right? Yeah, nothing's been said to any of the tenants about other, well, at least not to me, about other units going through this. This is proof that my dehumidifier is working. Right? That little dust and debris in there, probably mold. I'm going to test it. I put a petri dish next to it just so it could test the air that's coming out of it because it works fine. The dehumidifier is the reason why I'm okay still. This is my bathtub, right? If you look, like, maybe the grossest thing in there, the hair on the walls, that just lets you know I don't put my hair down the drain. As I'm shampooing and washing my hair, I collect the hair and I keep it from going down my drain. I finished using that shampoo. I can actually get rid of those bottles. That's something I could throw away today. Yay. Um, I finished that shampoo. I'm not going to use that conditioner. I don't think I'm going to use that conditioner. I have other conditioner. The other stuff has been cleaned up. So my bathroom is ready for me to steam clean it after the county comes and does whatever it needs to do. This is proof that the bucket has been in there since April. And if you look down by the cabinet that's very ill fit next to the bathtub, that little area between the cabinet and the bathtub is probably one of the most dangerous, nastiest places in my apartment. And if you look down, you can see that the floor and the tub are separating. The caulking, whatever it is, whether it's mold that's eating at the caulking or actual structural damage, that seal between the floor and the bathtub is no longer there. You can notice the toilet. It's not brand new like how he says it's a Glacier Bay toilet. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about it being brand new. You must not know how long I've lived here. That was the most gaslit shit I've ever heard in my life. Here we go more. So this is the current state of the vent. It's not closed completely, if you'll see. And it looks like whatever is not closed is causing shit to hit that wall. So I think this wall right here is going to have mold on it. This is the wall that goes towards my kitchen. This is the floorboard wall where the sole plate, I believe, is damage destroyed. I did a test here. I didn't necessarily find mold per se. The the test swab returned algae. Some of that white powder, I don't know about all of it, is diatomaceous earth that's used to keep bugs from coming in my apartment through whatever rotted holes there are in this area. There's a separation between that ramp and the floor, and this is an area that, despite there not being water, it still manages to have what looks like water damage. Meaning, the plumbing within the walls, for example, my toilet, the plumbing that connects to the toilet, is causing this issue. But they just want to put a nail in the board and call it a day. Maybe he needs glasses. This is on the other side of the wall. The wall is vertical, yet these stains are horizontal, which lend to it being mold that's spreading. I don't think these are water drips. I think the horizontal lines that appear to look like water or booger snot, that's mold. And then it has like regular house dust and debris, hair, cat hair, dander, whatever stuck to it. This is an area that I'm saving for the county. Again on July 20th, more trash. I don't know if it's the same trash, but I look outside. You can tell the trash isn't full because the lid is not popped open, right? Most people will throw their trash in the trash can until the lid is forced open, right? Not these people. Whoever it is wants to go in the trash and pull shit out and see what is being thrown away. Some people out there are unknowingly bringing mold contaminated items into their home. East Hollywood, we have an epidemic right now. And it's created by people who don't want to admit to or fix mold issues, or they've waited until the last minute to do so. If you are expecting me to get rid of my stuff, my apartment is not in any fucking nowhere near in the condition that this shit is. I actively monitor my clothing, my belongings, my dishes, my everything. I'm actively monitoring it for any signs of growth of anything. I have no need to get rid of all my belongings. It's not a total loss yet. It will be if I have to move my shit through the hallway while there's still mold. This is what I believe to be the cause of the issue. Yet, like, how does that knob have rust on it? That means there's water, right? Is that rust or is that mold? When I showed this to one of the contractors who last came to fix one of the last leaks, he took a hammer and he hit the wall. He said, "Nope, it's good." I don't understand how that's good, how that did anything. You could, without hitting the wall, tell that that shit's deteriorating. All that did was create a bigger problem. It opened up the mold in the wall space into my apartment. So this is where maybe the issue started to become a bigger problem. But looking at that, if I were a contractor, I would say you need to put in a request to your management company to have that taken care of. But he told me, gaslit me and said, nothing's wrong. I'm looking at it. It's okay. County is coming. It's not a simple drywall repair. This is after that day, July something or other, whatever, right? Probably just after the steam cleaner has gone through. So it's like 2 square feet where it gives the illusion that the shit is clean, but you can very clearly see where the mold is coming from. One apartment, and then like consistent footsteps, right? So anybody in this area that has to walk through here, at least the 2 apartments that are past this one, 3 apartments that are past that one, and anybody who wants to use the front door has to walk through this area. Not to mention, this apartment had numerous guests at all times of the day that were constantly walking. I have video and photo of the people that would walk from the front, from their apartment, possibly from wherever. They'd walk through the building, walk in front of my door, and stand there. So, should mold be appearing in front of my door, uh, it was assisted by people who are not my visitors or guests walking back to my apartment. More, just so you can see. Kind of looks clean. Not really. Does that look clean to you? Does that look like mold to you? We'll find out. Here we go. Here's where the citrus mold comes from. This is what I tested, and it shows on the microscope pretty much as exactly that, right? I did a little swab on a Q-tip, just enough for the Q-tip head to turn the black color of whatever that is right there. And then I like squeezed it so that the contents would drip onto a concave slide. And then I allowed the slide, I added one more drop of water to it, and I allowed the slide to sit uncovered for a few minutes before covering it. So what initially started out as clear water turned into what I showed you, those photos that I showed you that look identical to what this is. So I don't know how it is that citrus mold, because it's on the outside, it's not on the inside. The inside is clean dishes. Dishes that were clean, at least at some point. But citrus mold, that is black mold citric acid. So what this turns into is citric acid, I believe. I'm not sure. That's just what the universe just told me right now. And my AI searches, because originally AI had said, it's not mold, it looks granular, blah, blah, blah. It lacks the structures and the columns of what a traditional mold is. So then I took another picture, opened the diopter up, changed the lighting a little bit, changed the focus, changed the magnification, ran the picture back through AI, but this time asking if it was specifically orange mold, orange peel mold, and AI came back with an affirmative. So now, still waiting for the county. This mold, I don't believe, has spread throughout my kitchen because it's like sticky. You really actually have to touch it in order for something to happen to it. Or you have to put something like oranges inside of the thing so that they will then mold, and that turns into like the fluffy mold spores that people are used to normally seeing. So like this, around any citrus, if I put any citrus in my kitchen, this is the reason why my apple pie, because the apple pie, I stored it right next to this. This is the reason why my apple pie went bad. Apple pie is going to go bad fairly quickly, but I want to say within a day or two, my apple pie started growing mold. This is another angle, and this has spread because it started out as like one fingerprint size. I know exactly where it came from when it happened, because I had just washed these dishes prior to them coming to try to install the tankless water heater. This is the result of them trying to install the tankless water heater. Not only did he touch this bowl, he touched the wall and he touched the door where the tankless water heater is. I cleaned both the wall and the door, but I left this because it's on glass. Because I know what they're trying to do. This is in my car. They're like obsessed with giving me mold, trying to ruin my belongings. Whatever. Whatever. You must be broke. You must have no job. In the event that I have no job, none of this shit matters anyway. You know? Like, this does not bother me. Clean. You guys are trying to force me to clean or make me look dirty. Either one, I don't give a shit. I can do both. So this is the result of having to put my shopping cart in my car. It took 2 years. I've had this car for 3 years. It took 2 years, 2.5 years for it to get to this point. This is the other side of the door. This is, I think, the wheel may have hit it a little bit harder or something like jabbed into it. I don't even know. But this resembles the spot on my floor that I'm getting ready to test right now. This is a photo of what it looks like when mold spontaneously appears in your apartment on a day where humidity hits over 50%. You're fine. This is a sheet that I used to have covering my couch because you know how I use my towel? I have the towel because apparently mold attaches to like oily, greasy surfaces, right? So if you have a bunch of hair oil, if you lean against your couch and you don't have it covered, that's going to be one of the first places that mold. So this is likely due to like body oils, you know, whatever it is that's right there. That particular part of the sheet took hold, mold took hold and started to grow. So thankful that I caught it in time. I was able to remove the sheet from my couch. I sprayed it with vinegar, making it relatively neutral. It has not grown past this point. This is a towel in which the mold has grown on. Right? I washed the towel. The mold didn't go away. I washed it in vinegar. Sprayed it with vinegar a lot. Washed it with vinegar. There's another part on this towel that's not pictured where you can see where the mold actually ate the cotton fibers. Mold is consuming the cotton fibers. This is another shot. My kitchen didn't used to look like this. That used to be perfectly fine, perfectly flush, perfectly level. When I would walk in and out of my kitchen, this shit right here used to be clean. And now it's got all kinds of shit. This is where I believe rotifers are coming from. I believe there is like a slimy layer of algae, pond scum, water type, whatever experiment that is underneath now, right? Because I've seen rotifers on coming out of my, I believe it's coming out of my water distiller. I don't know if it was either trying to get in or if it had escaped the tap water from the distiller, but there is a structure that is now like dark brown and dried out that's still stuck on my distiller that does not resemble a regular like condiment or something, you know, like. So I have a feeling if the rotifer may have crawled out from my sink wherever it is, but there's also another one that's very similar looking, right? Short bodied, funny shaped head. You could tell it's not normal. That's on my refrigerator. So between those two, I don't know how I would have made it without liquid. They're thirsty, I guess, but this is where I think rotifers are entering my apartment. Crazy. It's crazy. That may or may not be true. That's just what I've seen them and I've watched them and I'm like, I know that's not normal. I'm not going to clean it. I'm going to wait. I'm going to test it. I waited till I got the microscope. I just don't know how I'm going to transfer it onto a slide without destroying it. So that's where the stereo microscope comes in. I may just get the stereo microscope and put it up to there instead of trying to put it on a slide. Here's another example. Look at how nice that, oh, that's my desk. My desk wood is nice. It was nice until certain areas started getting fucked up. 92.8 degrees, 4.44%. That's my environment. That's why I don't have mold growing. This is someone who came either looking for a package or to spread mold back by my door. Not my guest. They came out of the first apartment in which the guy got evicted. I saw him standing in the doorway because I remember his hat. So this guy, whether he's a guest of the guy in that apartment or he's a new tenant, I saw him walk from the front to the back. And when I walked out the front, he was standing in that first apartment, second apartment, first, whatever you call it. I don't know if this is intimidation. I don't know what this is. The package that was left in front of my door was an empty box because I know you guys are fucking stupid. This is spores. Spores on the handle because people use their feet to open the door. Right? Because everybody knows the building's disgusting. I would not touch that handle for shit. Not with an article of clothing, nothing. I have to carry out fucking napkins with me just so I could get in and out the building. Napkins. Structural damage. Something is not right. Rusted pipes indicate water leak, yet there is foam used to correct whatever condition is, probably to keep rodents out. It's right above a rodent box. Look at that crack in the wall, though. Something there needs to get fixed, and it's not. This is at the front door to the building. This, I don't know whose idea it was to put this table. They've since moved it. But this table, I believe, was intended to help spread mold from the door to the wall of the building and help it travel as far as it can go. Somebody thought it would be a good idea to put it there. Eventually, they moved it. I don't know if someone took it, whatever. I'm glad it's gone. I have a photo of what looks to be an iViewIt user checking occupancy because they think I'm just going to run away from my apartment. I'm not going to show you that because I'll show you later. This is what the trash can typically looks like nowadays. This is very typical. You know what this is? This is other tenants discovering that they have mold. This is other tenants who live above me, I believe, who don't have air conditioners or dehumidifiers, finding out that all their shit is fucked. Or it's people who have been granted remediation and they just got rid of everything and they're going to go live in a different apartment until their apartment's ready for them to return to it. I wish they're going to do this whole shit all over again. I believe some of this stuff, due to the cat tower, I believe this comes from the stinky apartment. Another angle. But there's more. There's more. More angles. Like, what is all that shit even? How do you just throw your shit out like that? You got evicted? You had to move. You were forced to move. This is somebody who was forced to move. Why would you just leave all your shit right there like that? More of their shit. So much shit they couldn't fit it there. They decided to contaminate the areas that are not part of this building. So I don't know if there's mold in this box, but whatever tenant it is that threw all that shit out, if they threw this shit out, there's mold on this building now, the other side of the building. Or this is the trash dumpster for the next door. And I don't think any of them had to move out. Look at it. You can see the mold on the back of that couch. I want to say that's mold. Pretty sure. Picture's not too clear, but I'm pretty sure. Let's see if I have a clearer picture. There. Yeah. Look at that. First of all, my stuff is not pushed up against the wall so as to allow air to pass behind it. So when she mentioned to me there's no airflow, I laughed so hard. Inside, I giggled. There's no airflow. The reason I put casters on every single piece of furniture is so that it's not directly connected to the ground. So that the ceiling fan alone should be enough to fucking promote the airflow throughout my apartment. Just the fact that the ceiling fan is pushing air down and out should be enough. If it's not, I have additional fans, but I have to be really picky about how I use them and where I use them and which way I have them point because of my knowledge of the situation that is my apartment. I have reason to believe this came from, look at, based on the blue bag right there, this came from that same stinky apartment. Uh, some more photos I'll show later, but they include a brand new floor mat that has no mold on it. From day one. And we'll see when I go back to take photos of how it looks. This is what I believe to be possibly blood issues, this would be a reason why I need to go to the doctor. It has every potential to be a cat scratch. I don't think that's what it is. I think this is something that was irritated when I put like a hydrogen peroxide or alcohol on it, and it spread through my skin. I don't know what that is. But it does run along a vein, which is why I believe it's a bloodborne illness, pathogen, disease, whatever you call it. This is another example. This is on my belly. This is the reason I believe I'm pissing out worms. Maybe it's from flies, it's whatever, but there are tenants within this building because it was never like this. Like the end of that little white thing, that could be a motherfucking worm. Right? But if I pull it out and I don't get the whole thing, it's bad. And then if I hit that shit up, and I did eventually, I put more hydrogen peroxide on it, and it caused another streak on my stomach similar to this, where it looked like something ran through my skin, you know? This? This is an air filter, HEPA air filter after 2 weeks. This is the one that was attached to the back of my air conditioner unit that I changed. Within 2 weeks, it looks like this. Tell me that's not mold. If you don't have a HEPA filter, your life sucks right now. Again, this is recent. The trash situation. Look at the trash. It's open, lock's broken, yet there's still all this fucking trash out front. What is that designed to do? It's designed to make you step on somebody's filth and then track it in the building. People out here are so disgusting. Get them out. My apartment is in need of remediation, and they sent someone to say that all they can do, right? This is where we got it from. And then here, I'll just show you. This is not my apartment, but this is what I believe it to look like behind the wall. And then they're telling me they're just going to nail the board down. Do not put a fucking hole in my floor. Right? This guy says, in this guy's apartment, years and years of damage from a leaky roof. But his pipes are not even rusted. Do you see that? His pipe still looks like it's a fucking copper pipe and it's chilling. Shit's not even rusted. So I can't imagine what my pipe looks like, what that shit looks like in there. So when they tell me, oh, we could just do the drywall, clear all this stuff out, we're going to cut open the ceiling, what that does, it releases all that fucking nasty shit into my kitchen. I just went grocery shopping. They want me to not be able to eat. You know what I'm going to do before you guys come? All that shit's going to get packaged up and put away in an area where it's clean. So even if your intention is to spread more mold throughout my apartment, I'm going to come in there after you and clean all that shit out. So I hope that we all got a good idea. Oh, okay. Another trash day. Right? Can you see it? And then here's like not related, but kind of. So if you're paying attention to anything, right? Societe has its jokes, right? Where they make plays on people's lives. They think that their shit is so funny. They're trolling people with Legos, supposedly, in my opinion. So it's really funny to see this. They just came out, and that's another thing. I'll say, we'll say it's unrelated because I don't want to imply that Lego is involved in this type of shit, because Lego, in my eyes, is still a good company. But maybe they've hired somebody recently that has bad ideas for them or is contributing to whatever narratives it is that are being portrayed. Maybe this is the new world order. Uh, when you think back to, I think it was Bill Gates and Jeffrey Epstein, if please forgive me if I'm not correct, but supposedly there was an email sent where it said something about how do you eliminate the poor, something like that. Mold. So what this says to me, this is rich people laughing at what they've done to anybody who cannot afford or cannot recognize or realize what a mold infection / infestation looks like. This is LADWP's pipe burst on steroids, and Lego's making fun of it. Do you get it? There's a custom minifigure. This is a BAM. This comes from Build a Minifigure. I have this one. This is one of the last ones that was released prior to what? They didn't do a release, I think July they didn't do a release. August they didn't do a release. They're coming back with the release for September. I think they didn't do July and August. This is just me making the world centered around me. Please forgive me if this bullshit, right? Just play along with me for a second. They know I'm going to get the minifigures. So when I say they, whoever it is, powers that be that are fucking with me, and if they are elite enough or high powered enough to, let's say, close down a Lego store for 3 weeks while they try to make me angry, it leans towards the possibility of Lego not coming out with July and August minifigures in order to keep me out of their store. I don't have Lego money. Just like I don't have McDonald's money, I don't have Lego money. I had Lego money when I worked in a place where I was either forced to buy lunch or make it myself, so on days where I did not come prepared with food from home, instead of buying lunch, I would just wait till I took my ass home to eat my food and spend the money I would have spent on takeout on minifigures and Powerball stuff. Or let's say I was able to go a whole week without eating out, I would go and buy a nice Lego set. I don't work next to the Lego store anymore, so I have no need to go do that. So, but I will note that before my time ended at a particular firm, the Lego store was closed for like 2 weeks, 3 weeks or something. Supposedly, maybe they had a mold issue, right, that they had to clean up. They got remediation. If they closed for 3 weeks, that's remediation. I can't wait for September's minifigures. I'm going to call ahead, though, so I don't have to spend too much time in the store. And then here, I'll show you what I believe dog slime vomit. This is my old Moldsparina cart. This is after I've had to spray it down with vinegar over and over again to keep it clean. This appeared one day suddenly. So I don't know where it came from. Did it come from my cat's saliva? I don't know. But it was on both the upper and lower handles. And I had previously been leaving the shopping cart outside my door because I didn't want to bring it into my apartment. And then I started spraying it with vinegar and putting it in my apartment. And then it just became too much of a hassle. But this particular mold is non-harmful to humans and pets. If I wanted to continue to use the shopping cart, physically, there was nothing wrong with it. Mechanically, nothing wrong with it. The only thing that was wrong with it was it needed to be scrubbed down. This is a Whatabuggy shopping cart I paid $36 a month for a year. to the cost of like $465 or something after interest. And I just let it go because I don't want to be hassled anymore. Right? They're trying to use the shopping cart as a means of blaming me for spreading mold. Fuck the shopping cart. I'll do what every other normal person does. I just walk. How are you going to blame me if I'm doing the same shit everybody else is doing? What it does, though, is it forces me to make more unnecessary trips through the hallway, up and down the stairs, creating more of a mold tracking mess. Right? Instead of walking through the hallway one time with my shopping cart, when I do go grocery shopping, I now have to go 4 or 5 times. Or I just have to go back to Costco every week. You didn't do anything. This is another photo. Oh, you can't see it. But all of that shit is just like in between here. And it goes away with vinegar, but it very quickly comes back. That's the reason I got rid of the cart. I didn't want to deal with the hassle. $500 almost down the drain. It's okay. Over 3 years, it's whatever. I paid to rent a cart. It's a lease. What else? Oh, boogers. I want to show you what boogers look like. You can't see the good part. I don't know if this is a mold spore. I don't know what this is. A cat hair, whatever, debris hair. But that little eyeball with the neck on it, I believe that to be a mold spore that has grown in my nose. It's so important. Your mucus is so important. And I think that's all the photos that I have from... Oh, here's what the air filter looks like. Here is what... When I took a little scraping off my air filter and I put it onto a slide, this is what it looks like. And I'll tell you what that is in there. Dirt, dust, dander, debris. I can see what I believe to be like a few, not too many, mold spores. They look like long sticks. They look like matchsticks. So they have a long body with a head, circular bulbous head. And the things that are like colored, those could be human hair. The ones with like the ladder pattern would be animal hair. Flat tapeworm looking like things, usually paper fibers, natural fibers. But within this mess, I do see at least one thing that I believe to be a mold spore, possibly more. And that comes off of a little tiny air filter. Here is a different view. Air filter stuff. Some of that may be mold. Some of it I think is. Right? So, if you think that you're cleaner than me, get a fucking microscope. Let's see. Here's another angle. This is like straight up dust. It looks like a couple of mold eggy looking structures. But if I put this into AI, it says it's not. It says it's just like skin cells, dust, dander, whatever. But those egg-like structures lean towards mold. AI told me this is an animal hair. This is paper filament. I believe paper towel fiber. What else? This is a slide that came with the microscope. This is pollen. Right? So pollen is similar to mold, similar shape, right? But it's very colorful. This is, I'm not sure what it is, but it's possible that this could be The shit that's in my skin, I don't know if it's worms coming out. I don't know if it is just superficial and from me using so much vinegar and my skin's just irritated. It could be dermatitis, is what I think it might be. But it's like a mixture of dry skin and just irritation. Um, and then let's look at my cat's nose. Last thing I want to look at. So on my cat's nose, I believe some of this to actually be. In the beginning, I thought it was mold, and it's possible, but I actually believe it to be like a reaction uh, to vinegar that I've had to spray on my cart. This could be where that dog vomit slime fucking shit comes from. Um, I don't know. I have to do more research as to where that comes from. But because that is harmless to pets, humans, whatever, I'm not so concerned about that. Um, that allows me to be okay because I haven't seen her nose look like this since I haven't forced her to sit in the mold spore cart. This is lockbox. Something's going on in this unit. This is not my apartment. I posted a video, a photo of the inside of this apartment last time it got what I believe to be remediated because it was open as if open for open house, and I took a look inside and I videotaped it, and then I posted that to my social media because I know I'm being stalked, and right, like I was just like, here, look at this, because similar to what they did when I took a test drive in an Acura Integra, it's a whole group of people who I believe to be jealous haters that are like, oh my gosh, she has something nice, let's ruin it. So this apartment used to look really nice, and within whatever time between from when I posted that video to now, they've had to move out again. Oh my god, she has something nice, let's ruin it. And let's finish. We'll do this really quick, I'll show you. These are some of the samples that I sent off to get tested. Uh because they just give you back a report, that's the reason I decided to go and get my own microscope. Because I could do the same thing that they could do, right? What else? My stream got interrupted. They didn't want me to finish. The powers that be were like, don't fucking show the next part. I'm gonna show you the next part because I don't know if results were correct. Uh, so I want to make sure that whoever goes out and buys this motherfucking test kit is well aware of how to do the test. As skilled and as talented as I am, I believe that I failed to do the test correctly and I wasted $135 on testing. Right? For $135, I could have bought a microscope. You don't really need much more than 10 power. You need 10 power and then different eyepieces. 40 power becomes hard to find it and locate it. 100 power, you got to know what you're doing. 100 power, you're almost, if you're new to microscopes, you're going to find it. This is the test that I used. So, be careful of this company. I would not suggest relying upon them for your results because I've seen weird shit happen in my house. Like the sheet, I'm positive that's something I'm going to do a test on it myself right now because I still have a sheet that still has this shit on it. I can't remember if I sent them that sample before or after I had put vinegar on it. And then that's it. That's all I'm going to share for now. I just wanted to make sure that everyone's well aware of the situation. And I just want to let you know, I paid my August rent. I'm getting ready to pay my September rent. Oh, I have to look into legal remedies. I don't want to pay my September rent, and they can't retaliate against me, and they cannot evict me. But being the fucking good citizen and tenant I am, instead of fucking the hassle with them, I'll just pay that shit. Right? Because I don't want to deal with any of the shit that they're trying to do with me. Can't complain about me if I pay my fucking rent, right? And with that, this is the last slide. Have a great evening, y'all.